My take for the week. As a people, all of us Nigerians, we are bonded together by a common humanity that supersedes any and all of our differences. It is that common humanity that explains our human feelings such as empathy, sympathy, and even the duty of care. It is for the reason of that humanity that we call on our leaders today to be compassionate on the suffering of the Nigerian people. Many Nigerians are frustrated, some enraged, but most are agitated about the current hardship in the land. Indeed, this week alone, we have seen a number of street protests in parts of the country where people are expressing their frustrations. We acknowledge that the federal and state governments are not just sitting on their oars, but clearly something is still missing in the way our leaders are conducting affairs. Let's look at two important observations in that wise. The first is on the economic management at a time like this. Recall that last week in one of our segments on Inside Sources, we raised the issue of the need for an active and visible economic management team for the federal government. Interestingly, on Sunday, Mr. President invited some top private sector players and some other government officials, FG and state, to the villa. The outcome of the meeting? A new tripartite economic advisory committee. So, the president is doing something to address concerns in the polity regarding hardship. But this is where adequate duty of care comes in. While the likes of Dangote, Boa, and Elumelu are clearly important players in the economy, they don't necessarily represent the fullness of public interest. But even more importantly, the meeting had no representative from the MSME sector or from small businesses. Why? Moreover, this new advisory committee should not be confused with the role of an economic management team. It doesn't seem as if such a team exists yet. And if it does, the team has done a poor job communicating its role. Then a chief economic advisor should be in the villa advising Mr. President on day-to-day economic matters and also communicating regularly with the Nigerian people. This has not happened. Back to the duty of care and our common humanity. If those in leadership don't communicate properly, it will seem that it is because they don't care so much. The role of communicating effectively is critical because all of these committees and all of the plans that are being put in place, both at the federal and state levels, will not make any sense with the people if they are not properly communicated on how they will affect their conditions for the better. Otherwise, the people will remain agitated, frustrated, and enraged. The second issue is government sending conflicting signals. Conflicting signals. With Nigerians partly agitated and enraged, it's no time for our leaders to send conflicting signals which produces distrust. Again, the duty of care warrants that our leaders avoid this. This week, for instance, the Federal Executive Council brought back to life the 2012 Oron-Sanye report. It was packaged as a major federal government cost-cutting attempt. But then, this same week, yet another memo leak from the villa revealed that the president is visiting Qatar with a main party of almost 40 people, I think 38. And this is not counting the advanced party of the president, which is usually larger than that. So we have 40 on the main party after the presidency had announced that the number should not be more than 20. So while our leaders are approving the Oron-Sanye report, whose main philosophy is to cut excesses, we are still continuing in an excessive government-like lifestyle of large presidential delegations, conflicting signals. This kind of behavior by the government will not diminish distrust between them and the people. We have spoken in the past about bold and forthright leadership. We have spoken about transparency and accountability. We will not relent until our political leaders, especially state governors and the president, get it right that our common humanity compels them to build trust with the people. Otherwise, they will be perceived as uncaring. So, let us not relent until we ensure that Nigeria is on course to that greatness of which we all dream. And there you have my take. Inside Sources will be right back.